stand up straight. Just don't want that touches, right?
Good girl. Yeah, you're doing good.
Good job. Oh, see, but on
That a girl. Good girl.
it like won't let me search me.
Yes, good girl. Down. Yes, good girl. Stand. Yes, good girl. Jupiter, sit. Yes, good girl. Down. Yes, good girl. Stand. Yeah, good girl. Jupiter, leave it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yes, take it. Jupiter, watch me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yes, good girl. All done. Bring it off. Yes, good girl. Jupiter, go camel. Yes, good girl. Jupiter, stay. Yes, good girl. Stay. Yes, good girl. Stay. Yes, good girl. Stay. All done. Good girl. Jupiter, stay. Yes, good girl. All done. Good job. Jupiter, sit. Stay. Yes, good girl. Stay. Yes, good girl. Stay. Yes, good girl. Stay. Yes, good girl. All done. Good job. girl. Stay. Yes, good girl. Stay. Yes, good girl. All done. Good job.
We're going to show you how Jupiter does for our off-leash hikes. Ready, Jupy? Let's go. Good girl. So I always start out with a high rate of reinforcement, reward them every time they check in. And then as I see that they're staying nearby, then I can start to lower the rate of reinforcement, reward less and less often. What I want to try to do is find the sweet spot between rewarding enough so that she'll check in here and there. But I do want her to go off and sniff and explore a little bit. So I don't want her glued to my side getting a treat every step either. Now, as I'm lowering the rate of reinforcement, I want to make sure that I do still acknowledge those check-ins with affection and praise. I want to make sure that she does know that I still want her to keep offering it. If I stop acknowledging it altogether and she starts to get nothing at all for it, that's the equivalent of ignoring behaviors that we don't like when we want to fade them. So if we walk away when they're jumping up or we walk away when they're demand barking, those behaviors start to decline because the dog's learning that it doesn't work to get anything. So they start to give up on offering it. If we start to ignore those check-ins and we don't give anything at all just because we don't want to give a treat every time, we might start to lose it. So what I'm going to start to do, good girl, is just say good girl and give her a little pet so that she knows I like the behavior sometimes, and then other times I'm going to give her a treat for it. Good girl, go play. Now out here, I'm mostly just using kibble for Jupiter. Because we work together a lot, I don't have to use a lot of high value treats, but anytime you go somewhere new where there's new exciting smells and sights and distractions, you're going to need to switch it up with some higher value treats. So things like chicken, hot dog, liver, cheese. The idea is you want your best value treat to trump anything in the environment so that whenever you ask your dog to do something, they happily do it expecting the best outcome from you. Now, as we're building up this reinforcement history that all the best stuff comes from us, it's important to let your puppy drag a long line to prevent them from running off and self-rewarding in the environment. So what I mean by that is if Jupiter goes off chasing birds and squirrels when she gets somewhere new, and that's what she finds reinforcing, that's what she's going to do every time because that's what's fun for her. If I have a long line on her, I can prevent her access to those things while I give her really good things for doing good check-ins and leave-its and good recalls. Until it seems like she's reliably responding to all of my cues, then I can think about fading that line as we get success. But anytime you go somewhere new, it's like starting fresh. You have to go back to building that reinforcement history in that specific environment with those specific distractions. And then again, once it seems like they're reliably responding to cues and you've built enough reinforcement history for doing what you ask in those environments, then you can think about fading that long line. I've hidden on Jupiter. We're going to do a recall. Jupiter, come! Yes, good girl. All done, go play. So it's not just about food, it's also about coming out and playing fun games with your dog and building a good connection with your dog. One of the things that we like to do to make it fun to do recalls is do lots of hide and seek. When they come, we get excited, we give them a really good treat, and then we say, all done and go play. Sending them to go play is a really important part of the equation because we don't want them to learn that recall ends the fun. A common mistake that a lot of puppy owners make is they use their recall to leave fun places, and then the puppy clues in and they start to resist coming when called because they don't want the fun to stop. So what we want to do to prevent having that happen is do a lot of recalls where we back it up with a go play so they learn that it's just part of the game, they get to keep playing. And if it is actually time to go, then what I would do is call them and leash them, give them a really good treat for getting leashed up, and then say go play and let them play for a couple minutes while they wear their leash. And then just pick up the leash and go without using the word come, so we're not making the association that recall is going to end the fun. Along the same lines, don't use recall to do anything that the puppy might not like. We always want it to end on something really positive. So if I have to do something like a nail trim or get them in the bath, or even asking them to do something that they're unsure about, I'm not going to use the word come for that because I don't want to risk the word come gets associated with something that they don't like. If I have to do something they don't like, I'm better off putting a leash on them and getting a big handful of cookies and encouraging them to figure out how to do it themselves without using that word come. So Jupiter's headed off ahead there. I'm going to change directions and let her know what the this way cue. Jupiter, this way! Good girl. Good job. All done, go play. So realistically, the reward for this way doesn't have to be a treat. It can just be an instruction that we're going to change directions, and it's a cue to follow, and we're just going to go have fun in a different direction. So having fun in another direction could be the reward for responding to the this way cue. But if they turn on a dime like she did, I do like to give a food reward to encourage a really nice fast response like that in the future.